This is Andy Gutierrez from StarWars.com, and you are listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z. This is the podcast you're looking for.
This is James Arnold Taylor, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi. I have a good feeling about this.
Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of CWK Live. This is a special Wednesday edition of CWK Live because we have some crazy snow around here. So, that is why there was quite a delay. So, my name is Dan Z. I am happy to be here talking Star Wars with each and every one of you. We've got a lot of our friends here. We've got Ben. Hello, Ben. Great to see you, buddy. Awesome. Ben did a great job talking Willow with us last week. Nice job, Ben. Jason is here. Hello, Jason. Happy winter to you as well. Tyler says, in the words of my weekly show, it's Wednesday. You know what that means? I do. It usually means new Disney Plus. But it also means we've got a special Coffee with Kenobi. Hello, Mary. Happy Wednesday to you. Oh, it's so good to see all of you. Brian, hello. Brian is actually about to join me to talk about, well, he's going to talk about Willow. Brian's going to be on CWK. So that's going to be awesome. This is the Wednesday, as he says, and Ben says, I wish I had snow. So here's what happened yesterday. Well, let's talk about what's going on first, okay? We're going to have your top 5 moments from 2 episodes of Tales of the Jedi, Choices, and the Sith Lord. So that's what's going to be our main feature. Then we're going to share our Star Wars Christmas memories, presents, things like that. We did that last week. We did that last year. Things have changed since then, and maybe you've got some new things to add or stories you didn't think of before. So that's going to be great. Matthew's here. Happy Wednesday to you. Good to see you, Matthew. So yeah, this basically how this works. As I was all set to the show last night, of course, because that is Tuesday night. And then, well, we're hosting for Christmas and Christmas Eve, and all of our families coming here, parents and in-laws and all the kiddos, and it's going to be great. Cousins. And then we got this notification that there's going to be a massive winter storm. We're talking between 4 and 6 inches of snow, which is a lot. I mean, it's not insurmountable, but we're going to get 40 to 50 mile per hour winds, and it's going to be it's like 30 below zero with the wind chill. So that sounds hyperbolic, but it's what the Weather Channel app is telling us, when all the news outlets are telling us. So we had to go out and make sure we shopped, got any last minute Christmas things done, got all the food for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, plus just normal stuff for the week. So that is why there was no show last night. So I thank you for your patience. And we're ready to talk some Star Wars right now. Ben says, you hit it right out of the park, Brian. This is a Wednesday. Yes, he did. Brian's pretty good. Hopefully, Brian, that's a good sign for your wit you're going to share with us on the show. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's brewing in the world of Star Wars this week. This CWK coffee mug. How about that? I got my CWK coffee mug in the mail today, available from our TeePublic store, coffeewithkenobi.com/store. And it's got the brand new Coffee with Kenobi Christmas logo that Corey designed. And I got myself a mug and a shirt. Love it. Very excited about it. Perfect thing to do to celebrate the holidays. I saw that Daz Davies, our friend in the UK, he got a great one, a black model of the Christmas one, which is great. And as I said, they're 35% off, I think, for the majority of December. So keep your eye on that. It's coffeewithkenobi.com/shop. Tyler, who lives in this area too, says it's about to look like Hoth outside and feel like Hoth too. So your Tauntaun will freeze before you get to the first marker, Tyler. So be careful out there, my friend. All right, so what is brewing in the world of Star Wars today? Actually got a little show and tell. Besides this awesome CWK Christmas coffee mug, again, designed by the amazing Corey Club. Cato McNichol, great friend of the show. She's also going to be traveling with us on the Galactic Star Cruiser event, which is going to be next June 12th to the 14th. Let me get that logo up there. June 12th to the 14th, summer 2023. There are some rooms available. So get your cabin and join us. A lot of members of the Coffee with Kenobi family are going to be there. go to coffeewithkenobi.com/mousefantravel and let them know you want to travel with Dan's Air and the Galactic Star Cruiser and Coffee with Kenobi's travel group. They'll know exactly what you were talking about. It's going to be an absolute blast. And the nice thing is, again, you can do this with a no cost, no obligation quote. So you can just kind of see what's going on. Mary says, you guys and gals in that path of the storm, just stay safe. I just got to Orlando 45 minutes ago and glad I did. Although there are frost warnings down here. Mary, congratulations on getting to Orlando. This is you're officially moved now, right? Am I correct on that? I feel like I am, but let me know. I see Orlando's is going to be getting some pretty cold temperatures for them as well. Of course, not as bad as this, but that's kind of the way. This is the way, as our good friend the Mandalorian says. All right, so Kato McNichols sent me this amazing Star Wars care package. Just some fun stuff. These are some classic Star Wars pencils that she sent back. This came out. The logo looks like it was around the time of Attack of the Clones, so that seems about right to me. I'd love to tell you I could see the fine print, but I can't. Here's some fun postcards that she sent me as well, and she signed one of the back of them. Classic Empire Strikes Back cover. Love that. Here's Star Wars Infinities. Remember that great comic book series from Dark Horse? And then another Star Wars tales where Vader is reflecting, rather like Hamlet, to Yorick the Skull in Act 5, Scene 1 of Hamlet. But of course, in this he is reflecting on his creation, C-3PO, which is fun. Minta is here. Sorry I'm late. I had trouble getting on. This is the way. It's CWK Day. Minta, I'm not surprised. I had some trouble getting on too. I don't know what was going on over here, but it was challenging. Matthew says, those are awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it was so nice of Kato to send those over. There's more too. Mary says, we're almost there. We're going to go back and forth a few more times. We'll be in Florida more now than West Virginia. Well, that's great. I bet you're very happy about that. So we got these two fellas too. Kato sent these over. Okay, so what's the name of this one? And what is the name of this creature? From Attack of the Clones, of course. And Bad Batch. By the way, I have seen 95% of Season 2 of The Bad Batch. And I'm not allowed to say anything, but you can look for me to comment about it on social media. So which one is the Reek, Tyler? Is this the Reek? Because I believe... So we've got a Reek, and we've got a Nexu. Which one is the Reek? And how can I do that with my hands? So this guy right here... I'm going to guess Tyler said this is the Reek. Tyler knows his Star Wars. He knows his creatures. I know you all did too. This is the Reek. And this would be the Nexu. And Brian says Reek has the horn. Yep. I always remember Reek and Rhino because they both have that horn up top. And this one makes noise, but we can't figure it out. So you put batteries in the bottom here. But here's the piece de resistance. If you hear my dog, it means somebody's here. So look what Kato sent me. A vintage Kenner Stormtrooper blaster. It's in pristine condition. Look at this beautiful thing. This was an absolute stone cold classic to me. I lost my original one. One of the few things I lost from my original collection. I absolutely love it. We haven't put the battery in yet because I don't really remember how to do it perfectly. I don't want to break it, so I'm going to look it up online and figure it out. But wow, what a wonderful vintage collectible. The Kenner Stormtrooper Blaster. So again, Kato, thank you so much. You are a rock star. We really appreciate that. Right away, Mason was like, can I play with that? I'm like, yes, you can play with it, but it's going to be Dad's. It's going to be Dad's. Tyler says that blaster is perfect if you got to chase people out of your house this weekend. Well, I've got a lot of lightsabers too, but yes, I'll keep that in mind. Mary says, so cool. Yes. Thank you. I'm excited. Tyler says there was a board game from episode 2. You can ride a Reek and take out battle droids we used to call going Reeking. Brian, you're good with the puns, aren't you? I like that. Ben says, what a great gift. Great job. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm very excited about it. You also may have seen that on StarWars.com today, the day of this recording, Wednesday, December 21st, StarWars.com did their year in review of a lot of great things that happened in the world of Star Wars this year. And I was fortunate to contribute yet again to that. And I was able to write about the Galactic Star Cruise, the Halcyon. How perfect is that? So be sure to check that out. I posted it in the CWK Cafe and all over Twitter as well. We don't have any other major merchandise news to share, other than I did post an affiliate link to the Biker Scout with Grogu Holiday Edition figure, which is pretty fun. All right. I think that's pretty good, but I think we need to go in and we need to talk about our great episodes of Tales of the Jedi. This week, again, we're going to look at your top 5 moments from Choices and the Sith Lord. We're not doing separate lists because we just thought we would combine them together, and then we can talk about the last 2 episodes of Tales of the Jedi, the Ahsoka ones, and take them on individually as well. Personally, I think the Sith Lord has got a lot more meat to it, but that's not a knock on Choices, because Choices is absolutely fabulous as well. And we get to see, basically, what do we got? In Choices, we have Dooku and Mace Windu. They go on a journey to discover what happened. Let me get that logo back up there. To discover what happened with the death of a Jedi Master. And they start to find that there's some weird corruption. For the second episode in a row with Dooku, he encounters corrupt senators. And we know from Attack of the Clones and Star Wars The Clone Wars that he is not a fan of the Republic. And I'm sure these are 2 major core reasons why. Then at the end of the episode, he realizes that Mace Windu, who was with him the whole time, is very much questioned his motive, or not his motives, but sort of his choices that he makes. And then Dooku finds out that Mace Windu is in fact going to be a member of the Jedi Council. And I think he suspects that Mace Windu is playing the political game to be on the Jedi Council as well. It's very tense. And then the next one, the Sith Lord, is a powerful, tragic episode, which prominently features Yaddle, as she starts to discover that Count Dooku has made a new friend. And so we're going to get into that. Let's go ahead and jump into it right now. Again, we're going to combine our top 5s. But number 5 for me, I'm going to start out with, where'd I go? A new council member is what I put down. A new council member. Not to be confused with an old council member or the fact that I've disappeared. There I am. The new council member is when, as I just mentioned, Dooku realizes at the end of the episode that Mace Windu is going to join. And he's so put off, and he calls him a Jedi Master or Master Jedi at the end of the episode, but he says it with such anger and contempt and rancor, and it's pretty serious. Like, you can tell, all right, this is the end of their bond or friendship. Obviously we know that they have a bit of a face-off in Attack of the Clones, but when he tells him, when the last words he says to him, the way he greets him, and very much mocks his title, you just see like a massive divide, a chasm, and it's a powerful narrative moment. Let's see what all of you have for number 5. Number 5 for Tyler Sciatti-Mundi, Wearing the Hood. Unintentionally funny, a nice moment of levity, and 2 pretty intense episodes. And plus, he's, it's funny because he's just got a larger cranium. We'll say it that way. But, it does make sense that he would honor the Jedi cultural way of dress. But I know what you're saying, Tyler. Number 5 for Ben, the Jedi funeral at the end of Choices. I like the visual of the beam of light emanating from the tomb. Gives new meaning to being from the light side. Yeah, it was really nice symbolism there. Good catch, Ben. Very good. Star Wars Bros, by the way, is Ben's podcast. Be sure to give it a listen. If I said the incorrect full title, please correct me, Ben. But be sure to, as you know from last week's Coffee with Kenobi, Ben's a pretty insightful fellow, so you'll definitely want to hear his podcast. Jason, number 5. All the setting details and elements like the beauty of Raxus and the haunting, powerful music that add such depth to the story. Isn't it wonderful? Like, I watched it on a bit higher definition for this rewatch, and I too was very struck by the visuals and the music, and it's really a lovely, beautiful series. Meets 5. Seeing Windu and Dooku use different approaches to solve the murder of a fellow Jedi was interesting. It was easy to see who is more prone to the rules while the other tends to bend them. That's a very kind way of saying that Dooku kind of makes the rules up for himself. And you're right. And he's really annoyed with Mace that he so much adheres to the views of the Jedi, which, we think about later with Palpatine, the dogmatic views of the Jedi as Palpatine views them, and dogmatic means just very strict doctrine, very strict rules and regulations that are not bendable. Brian's 5. The truth and timing about the erasure of Kamino from the Jedi archives. Boy, that was great. I mean, you want to talk about hooting and hollering watching this episode. Mace and I definitely did that when we saw that. Number 5 for Mary Dooku saying, "We will have the truth." Then he and Windu are attacked by the guards, which is a pretty powerful moment. Star Bros, yes, Star Bros. Be sure to check out Star Bros. And of course, Ben, my pleasure, buddy. It's a great job. It's a great show. All right, so there's number 5. Let's go to number 4. Can you believe we're just a couple 4 days from Christmas? Amazing. All right. The turn. So I'm talking about the end of the Sith Lord when Dooku goes all in and he defeats, he murders Yaddle. So I hate this. It's terrible. It's depressing. It's so dark and twisted and just didn't sit well with me, and it's not supposed to. Narratively, it could easily be 1, but I just didn't want to put it 1 because I just don't want to showcase it, even though it's fictional, because it really upset me. But from a narrative perspective, the fact that you can care so much about a character you've only known. Yes, I know Yaddle's been around since 1999. I get that, but we really don't know much about Yaddle at all. We don't know much about her, so I had zero. I would say close to zero investment in this character. But in just a few short moments, of course, Bryce Dallas Howard voicing Yaddle never hurts anything because she's such an amazing talent. That her acting and the animation and just how we see Yaddle carry herself in this short episode, the fact that I cared this much that she was murdered by Dooku and just seeing Dooku's turn was that effective was really powerful storytelling. Number 4 for Minta. It was great to have closure about what happened to the Kamino records. Though it was not surprising. It was Dooku who did the deed. Yeah, I also celebrated that because I thought it was just really well done and cool to actually see it. Tyler's 4. Kamino's disappearance. Pretty shocked to see the ending or that scene. The facial animation shows there's no going back for Dooku at this point. The facial animation on that sequence and everything on this series is so good. Jason's 4. Seeing Mace Windu and Count Dooku fighting together, most impressive. They are a formidable team, aren't they? I would not want to mess with them. Brian's 4. The increasingly strained relationship between Mace and Dooku started on the ship, then he was resentful after Mace was given a spot on the council above him. Very, very resentful. Kind of similar to my number 5, so that's cool. Mary's 4. Jedi are the laptops of the Senate. After this statement, you see Dooku's face and how his doubts are truly coming forward to him. Yeah, like at light speed almost. Ben's 4. Full Yaddle. She gets such a prominent role finally, and I love that her fighting style is very similar to Yoda's. It was, which makes sense, because of their stature, their diminutive nature. But yes, very, very similar. Very cool. All right, let's go to number 3. My number 3, and I'm just going to tell you, all of mine are, besides the 5th one, are from the Sith Lord because they're just so good. 3, I just put Yaddle, and I talked about it a little bit ago, but the fact that I cared so much about Yaddle without really knowing much about her or seeing much of her in the films or in the Clone Wars itself, add a lot of gravity to the situation and to her. Seeing Palpatine, the look on the animation is so stellar. The look on his face when Yaddle is defeated and knowing that he's turned Dooku fully, all chilling. But she was a cool character. I know Matt Martin, of course, Lucasfilm Story Group executive, was a huge fan of Yaddle, and I'm sure this one was pretty powerful and rough for him as well. I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but I think he talked about that a little bit on Twitter. He loves that character. Minta's 3 is Dooku finally turning to the dark side. It was heartbreaking to see him take down Yaddle. I screamed at the TV and then I broke down into tears. I know it's fictional, but it still gets to you. Exactly. We're all aware. Sometimes people who don't understand fiction or the power of myth, they can't understand why we relate to stuff, but they just do a good job. They're just such good storytellers at Lucasfilm. They draw us in beautifully. 3 for Tyler, Mace getting the seat. Really loving Dooku's reaction to that. Also made Mace fall even further in my eyes. I agree. And Mace is such a problematic character, isn't he? I promise that's not a product placement. I'm just drinking out of this mug because it was clean and new and I was excited. Okay, well, maybe a little. Maybe a little teeny tiki bit. Brian 3 is Dooku's insatiable need for the truth. Insatiable is a good word. Yeah, and it's truth from a certain point of view. I think we could agree. Jason's 3. The moments we see Dooku slowly taking steps towards the dark side, yet still showing some internal conflict, such as the brief looks of pain on his face when he thought he had crushed Yaddle in the door. Yeah, that's an important part too, that there's like the brief moment where he's like, what am I doing? What have I done? It's almost like you make those bad choices and it's like you can't pull out of the crash that you're sliding towards. Number 3 for Mary, Dooku calling Windu Master Jedi at the end of choices. Yes. He spits those 2 words out. We see the end of Dooku being a Jedi. I like how you said he just spits those words out. You said that better than I could have when I described my number 5, Mary. And I absolutely agree. He spits it out with like a venom. Number 3 for Ben. Foreshadowing to Attack of the Clones. Dooku deletes Kamino. Dooku and Qui-Gon chat about wanting to meet Obi-Wan one day until they eventually meet on Geonosis. I like how they connect those dots. It was really cool. I love when they're able to naturally and organically tie things together. I thought that was so good. All right, let's go to number 2. Qui-Gon and Dooku during the Phantom Menace. This one in my number 1, I about lost it, man. I was so excited seeing a fully animated Qui-Gon Jinn as voiced by Liam Neeson, the original Qui-Gon, talking to Count Dooku, and who's clearly older, because Dooku goes through a couple of different ages, different little moments in his life, really quick snapshots in this episode of the Sith Lord from Tales of the Jedi. And seeing them talk about the happenings in the Phantom Menace when Darth Maul and Qui-Gon fight on Tatooine right before Anakin meets Obi-Wan Kenobi for the first time, and knowing it's taking place concurrently. Anytime these things go concurrently, like, in the end of Clone Wars with the Siege of Mandalore and Revenge of the Sith, whenever they can beautifully interweave those things, I love it. And it was just so amazing to see them together and talking about, I can't wait to meet Obi-Wan. It's just great. I just loved it. And again, having Qui-Gon there just adds so much weight to it. Just terrific. Let's see what the rest of you have for number 2. It looks like we're going to see Tyler has a similar one. He says, Qui-Gon, I was so elated getting to see Master Qui-Gon interact with Dooku. Liam Neeson is wonderful, and I love the shot of Dooku walking to the shadows while Yaddle walks towards the light. Yes. I like that too. The symbolism is just always great on these. Mintus 2. Dooku didn't agree how the guards went about to reveal the truth of their planet. But he's on the same page as they were, since he always searched for the truth. That's right. He did. Or started to kind of create his own. Like, you feel like he's just got to make these big jumps. And how he lives his life. Mary's 2 is Dooku wiping out the Camino logs, as said. It finally answered the question of who did it. And it's like we always knew, but we didn't get that actual stamp of approval, and now we've got it, and it's great. 2 for Brian is Dooku's personal relationship with Qui-Gon. He truly missed his companionship when he saw him at the elevator, and he was furious with Sidious for letting Maul kill him. Yes, he was. And I thought that would be like a deal breaker, but obviously it wasn't. Jason's 2 is the news of Qui-Gon's death. A beautiful and sad scene. Dooku actually seems sincere in his grief. Oh, I have no doubt that he was. Looking at that tree, the famous Jedi Force tree, that is, there's only a few of them in the galaxy, and one of them is in the Jedi Temple. I actually wrote about it for the Star Wars book. Ben's 2. Dooku sympathizes with the guards and choices. There's a moment his facial expression subtly changes, and Dooku realizes he's right. Jedi are bound by the laws, and Mace Windu represents that most. This moment sows the distrust that leads Dooku down his dark path. Yeah, there's so many little, the road to evil is paved with good intentions, as I've said before. It's a very famous quote, and it's very much here. Mary's number 2. She says, Dan, your number 2 is my honorable mention. They did such a great job with Dooku and Qui-Gon in this episode. Awesome. Yeah, we need to do a better job of highlighting honorable mentions. You always bring up great ones, Mary. I really appreciate that. But now, let's talk number 1. Between these 2 episodes, Choices and the Sith Lord, my number 1 is The Camino Mystery Solved. Yes, it looks like the text cut off there, so I apologize. Like many of you have said for your 2 and 3, I cheered maybe more for this than I did when Qui-Gon showed up, but seeing him go in there and delete Camino from the archives and talk to Jedi Master Librarian. Oh my gosh, how can I suddenly forget her name? I can picture her perfectly. I know what her name is. Jedi Master. Plus, her name is a famous mythological name too, from Oedipus Rex. Oh gosh, what is her name? Someone's gonna say it, and I'm gonna be like, no. Anyway, I could just go on babbling, but nobody wants to hear that. Number 1 for Aminta, seeing Qui-Gon and Dooku together one last time on the screen. It's breaking and hard. It's breathtaking and beautiful all at once. Absolutely. Tyler's number 1. Jocasta knew. Yes, Jocasta. Jocasta is the name, I believe, of the mother/wife in Oedipus Rex. Tyler's number 1 is the Jedi tree. The most powerful scene I've seen in Star Wars. Wow. Absolutely crushing. Corey Burton knocks it out of the park in this scene. I felt like Qui-Gon could have been the person to help Dooku, but now that he's gone, so is Dooku. Agreed. It's time to leave him behind. You can do that? What choice have I? Almost brought you to tears with that scene. Yeah, it's like he's really he's just given up. He's pretty heartbroken. Brian's 1 is Dooku's use of his environment when fighting. Tree on Raxus moving the ship in Dora and Coruscant, just like he breaks the middle columns on Geonosis to escape the fight with Yoda. Yeah, he's pretty talented. Jason's number 1 is Yaddle's bravery, honesty, and purity. So sad that such a good Jedi was lost. It was very sad. Tyler helps to reinforce what my guess was. Jocasta knew. Thank you again, Tyler. I knew it would come to me, so I appreciate that. Mary's number 1, Yaddle and Dooku at the tree, and are trying to get him to go to the funeral. But then the fight they have, and Palpatine's manipulating him to kill her, just as he later manipulated Anakin to kill Dooku. It all rhymes. Yep, it really does. Story beat wise, they're right on the money, aren't they? With all that, really powerful stuff. All right, let's. So next week will be a couple days after Christmas. We're just going to do one episode. We're going to do Practice Makes Perfect. This is the episode where we learn a key moment in Ahsoka's life. She's not an infant or a baby like she is in Life and Death, the first episode. But this is a really important one in her life and survival. And if you've seen it, which I'm sure you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So next week, we're going to do our top 5 moments from Tales of the Jedi. Practice makes perfect. Let's see. Ben's number 1 was Dooku's fall parallels Anakin's. Palpatine uses his anger about Qui-Gon's passing and his anger towards Palpatine. The best quote, "You question my loyalty?" And Palpatine says, "Always." Of course he does. Then he says the same line, "Rise." Palpatine could turn Jedi dark in his sleep. And there's a lot of seeds sown. Easier for me to say, but I know exactly what you mean. Really rough stuff. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump into Ask Dan Z. All right, so this is where you can ask me anything you want to about Star Wars, about what's going on in the world of podcasting. And I also want to talk about some Christmas stuff. Speaking of Christmas, I want to share a little gift with you. We did this last week again after a long absence of not doing these. Here's a clip from this week's CWK pour over video. This week we talked all about Steam into Star Wars, which is going to be January 7th, I believe. It's from 9 o'clock to 12:30 in Washington, Illinois at WCHS High School, which is where I teach, and where Tom is the librarian. And we talked all about it, and this is a bit of a clip some things you can expect to see at Steam into Star Wars this year. So let's be really super clear on this. Tom has created something so magical and so amazing. It's kind of become like a very unofficial Central Illinois Star Wars celebration. I mean, it is packed. Last time we had hundreds of people. Greg McLaughlin was there from Rebel Base Card. Yeah. LJ, no, not LJ. Ross Hollabin was there from Phantom Tracks and lots of other things.
And Ross will be there this year too.
That's right, and as will Greg.
Yes.
Wow. And there are rumors that Smooth Rivera might be there as well.
Yes.
With his family. We keep asking Corey and he's not answering, so I'm hoping you're going to do a patented surprise show up.
You never know what can happen. Never what the Force will bring.
You never know. So if that is in fact true, that would be definitely something where we would be like very excited about. So it's a wonderful atmosphere. Also, there is going to be some panels. I'll be hosting some panels for digital media and authors and kind of how that works and things like that. And it'll be a lot of fun. I mean, it's really a great time. The 501st will be there. A lot of picture opportunities. Happy to chat with all of you. And like I said, happy to sign anything you've got. You can be on the Coffee with Kenobi show with me if you'd like to be. Because unless Corey shows up and Tom's going to be busy, I'm going to need a co-host of some sort.
Sir.
So yeah, there's a little bit of a brief trailer of what you can expect from Steam into Star Wars. Tyler says, did he pre-register for Steam into Star Wars after listening to our latest pour over? If you and Tom need help setting up, let me know and I can do that. Well, thank you, dude. I will definitely pass that along. Appreciate that so much, man. It's going to be a really fun event. It always is. It's great. I mean, seriously, last time we did it before COVID, we had hundreds of people. So many Star Wars activities for people of all ages. Kids were there, 501st, books, great panels, authors, artists are there. Yes, I will be there doing a live Coffee with Kenobi. I can sign your books for you as well. It's going to be a great time. What does StarWars.com do to celebrate the holidays with their staff? So one of the things that they do is we all get a Christmas card, a Lucasfilm Christmas card. I did post it in the CWK Cafe. And it's really awesome. Like sometimes they send out actual physical cards, sometimes they send out a digital one, but it's always a pure moment of bliss to see that. And it's really great. So that's one thing that they do for sure. Tyler says, cosplay allowed? I got an Obi-Wan costume. Yeah, Tyler, there's definitely cosplay involved. Mason's dressed up as Vader before. He's dressed up as Kylo Ren, Stormtrooper. Oh, yeah. In fact, now that I'm getting more Ewan McGregor each and every day with my hair and stuff, I need to get a robe from Galaxy's Edge, or just get an Obi-Wan Kenobi robe, because I think that would be cool, Tyler. And if you do, we got to get a picture together, because that would be awesome. That would be so awesome. What else is going on? So yeah, we've been talking about Willow on Coffee with Kenobi, and it's a fun show to talk about. It's not Star Wars related, but it is Lucasfilm related, so that's why we're going to cover it. Which of course means I'm eventually one day going to cover the new Indiana Jones film. And yeah, of course I am. It's going to be awesome. And how is everyone liking Will? I think it's really cool. It's definitely a different take on the fantasy genre, but I really like it. I like the approach. It's got a great cast, and I'm looking forward to talking about it later with Brian and Gar Van Orden. So that's going to be tremendous. Let's talk real quickly as we wrap up the show. What are some of your favorite Star Wars Christmas memories? I remember distinctly it must have been late 70s, it had to be early 80s. I was hoping for the Millennium Falcon, the original Kenner Millennium Falcon, and I didn't get it. And I looked around, we opened up all the presents. I was still very happy. And I looked under the tree and I saw a box wrapped in red tissue paper that was see-through. And I thought, how did I not see this before? But I could tell it was the Millennium Falcon. I opened it up, got some new Star Wars figures, and boy, did I play with that thing forever and ever. It's one of the greatest things, the Millennium Falcon, especially that classic Kenner one. That's a huge memory for me. And of course, seeing all the Star Wars movies that have come out since Disney purchased Lucasfilm in theaters with family. There's something about family and Star Wars and Christmas that is just wonderful. Aminta says she loves Willow. So far, it stays true to the movie. Oh, that's cool. I like that. And I agree. Jaden says, my brother and I are playing with our Star Wars action figures under the Christmas tree. Isn't that the best? Yeah, there's those great memories. And Mary says her more recent memories are going to sequel movies with Chaz. Yeah, you just get those built-in memories. I'll never forget seeing The Rise of Skywalker with Mason in theater. And after I gave a little presentation, he handed me like this cool little Star Wars thing he got at McDonald's. It was just so fun. Ben got the Star Wars Electronic Battleship game back in the day and loved that. Nice. Oh, I bet that was cool. I'd love to see that. Tyler's favorite, one of his memories is in 2015 going with his mom, stepdad, brothers, and sister to see The Force Awakens. I think it was the second or third time for all of us. It's important to all of us. Yeah. Just like the Force surrounds, protects, and binds the galaxy together, Star Wars and Christmas make this, help encompass this wonderful community that's present year-round, 365 days a year. The holiday season, the light side, the Force, the good people of this community. It's all very much reminiscent of what it's all about, right? Celebrating what we love with the people we love. And hey, I am thrilled to be a part of that. I hope you all have an amazing Christmas, happy Hanukkah, a wonderful holiday season. And yeah, we'll get to the Happy New Year thing, but I'm going to wait. Let's enjoy Christmas because I'm not a big Merry Christmas and Happy New Year yet, unless, you don't see people regularly. But I'm going to see you. I'm going to see you next Tuesday, unless there's another snowstorm. I got to run to the grocery store, which I don't think is going to happen, knock on wood. I'm looking forward to that. I realized that I didn't really post a picture of my Christmas tree in the CWK Cafe, so let's get on that. Post your favorite Star Wars Christmas decorations, Star Wars Christmas ornaments, your Star Wars Christmas trees in the CWK Cafe, which of course is our Facebook group. I'll put up the logo there for you in case you're not sure, although I think everyone here is pretty much a regular in the CWK Cafe. Yeah, it's coffeewithkenobi.com/community. Go there for a family-friendly, spoiler-free Star Wars conversation. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful Christmas. I look forward to hearing all about your goodies that you've received. Brian says, I still have some of the light up and sound Christmas ornaments. Peter Bell's out, You Are Not a Jedi Yet. I got that one too. It's so good. Oh, we got to start the music again. How about that? Mary says, happy holidays this week to all who celebrate. Yes, thank you, Mary. You too. Tyler, have a good holiday, everyone. Stay safe. You too. Minta, Merry Christmas, and may the Force be with you. You as well, Minta. Jason, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you. And Ben says, stay safe and warm. Have a wonderful Christmas. Thank you so much, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We will see you next week. Hope Santa's real good to you. See you next time.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Coffee with Kenobi unless otherwise indicated.
This is the podcast you're looking for.
There's no one here. Move along. Move along.